Hello and welcome, my league contesting leaves. Pokemon badges are one of the core things in the Pokemon games. And there are quite a lot of them, with unique, different designs. So, here are my thoughts on them. Defeating Brock earns you the first badge ever in a Pokemon game, the Boulder Badge. The design does what it needs to, being a rock-type badge, and works fine as that. But it is still very simple, so solid B tier for it. Same goes for Misty's Cascade badge. It is the perfect representation for water, but still just a simple symbol. Nothing special about it. Again, B tier. Lieutenant Surge hands you the Thunder Badge, and I'm quite on the fence with this one. I really like the design, maybe it would even be S tier material, but as for its representation for the electric type, it looks like a sun or a star, nothing really giving me electric vibes. I think A tier fits. The Rainbow Badge from Erika is my favorite badge from the Kanto region. It is colorful, looks like a flower, and with that, represents the grass type very well. Solid S tier for this one. Koga's Soul Badge is also not too bad. However, it would remind me of the Psychic type more than Poison. Well, there is the Soul thing about how his and Sabrina's badge kinda got mixed up. I'll give it a solid B. Then we have probably the most boring badge in all of Pokemon. Sabrina's March badge is just a dot. This gets a D tier, which by the way is the lowest tier I'll use. The Volcano badge from Blaine represents fire in a very good but simple way. Not too simple like the Cascade or Boulder badge. It does have a nice touch with the pink part in the middle, so A tier for this. I like leaves. I know, surprising. And I also like feathers. Giovanni's Earth badge is kinda a mixture of both, so I should really like it a lot. And while I really like the bottom part, the top part looks kinda strange. Not exactly horrible, just nah. But I still give it the A tier. Now we reach Johto with a full set of new shiny badges. I like the wing-like design of Falkner's Zephyr badge, but the form is also kinda off, which takes away from it. B tier. Buxy's Hive badge looks really cool, designed after Ladybug. But it is still just a round badge. I think A tier for this one. This one I am struggling with. Whitney's badge is literally called the Plain Badge. And it's for the normal type. Can I really retract points for it being plain? Even the original name, which is Regular Badge, doesn't help. Well, in cases like this, go with the middle, I think, which works for something called the Plain Badge. So, B tier it is. Morty hands you the Fog Badge. It looks like a little ghost, which I like, but it really doesn't do anything special. B tier fits here as well. Strangely called Storm Badge, it resembles a fist, fitting for the fighting type gym leader Chuck. But again, it is very simplified, so B tier. The Mineral Badge from Jasmine looks like the Boulder Badge, but more boring. But as it also fits Steel very well, I can't give it a D, so C it is. The simplified snowflake design of Price's Glacier Badge represents ice very well. I do like it, but even then, it is still very middle of the road, so B tier. I love dragons. But Claire's Rising Badge, I don't really know. I don't like its colors, especially the black. If it had different colors, it might even rise to S tier. But like this, B is all I can give. Hoenn, again, starts with a rock type gym. We have Roxanne's Stone Badge, which is... What is this? It doesn't look very rocky at all. I don't like it. D tier. The Knuckle Badge from Brawly does the same as the Storm Badge. A simplified fist. But this one looks so much better. This, for me, is A tier. Watson's Dynamo Badge is a nice idea as it resembles a dynamo. But I think it could look better with that concept. This kinda looks like someone forgot that glasses need two, well, glasses instead of one. B tier. The Heat Badge you get from Flannery looks really cool. You can see it represents fire, but it is not as simple as the Volcano Badge. I think this really fits in S tier. Normal badges like Norman's Balance Badges are hard. Of course, they can't look special. They are normal after all. But it looks balanced, so for the Balance Badge, again, I go with the middle, B tier. The Feather Badge is very close to a really good wing design. Good job, Winona. But it is still not perfect and could be improved upon. I don't like the curvature. A rank for me. The first, and so far only, dual gym leaders, Tate and Liza, give you the Mind Badge. It is shaped like a heart, so you could say it represents them both being of one mind and one heart. The yellow and pink coloring looks neat, and I love the gem in the middle. Solid S tier. The Rain Badge from Wallace, or Juan, is just like Misty's badge, but with two more boring versions attached. If all three drops were blue, this might have worked, but like this, C tier. Sinnoh, again, starts with rock. I mean, it is a type with many weaknesses fit for the beginning, but be more creative, guys. Well, rock gives you the coal badge, which looks like a furnace. Coal is used in furnaces, but you could argue that this would fit fire better? Well, all in all, the design isn't too bad, so B tier. I love Gardenia's Forest Badge. The green they chose for its color is nice, but there's more to it. You see, this is the kanji for tree, and this is the kanji for forest. 3 times a tree. And this is exactly what the badge does. And I love it. S tier. Meline doesn't only have the largest collection of body pillows in the world, but also gives you the Cobble Badge. At first, you might not know what this is supposed to be, but think of Japanese martial arts. This one is a tatami mat. And that is simply genius. S tier. What type could fit wrestling better than water? What, do you think fighting would be better? Crasher Wake would like to introduce you to his German suplex. And gives you the Fan Badge. It is supposed to resemble a fan, but I think this is hard to see. But alas, I still like the design. Well, in this case, A tier, I think. Again, Fantina's badge, the Relic Badge, is something of Japanese origin. You would have to know to get the design, which fits Ghostly very well. It is based on the so-called Mitsutomoe, a symbol for Shintoism that represents heaven, earth, and the underworld. And while I really like this origin, I think the design could still be refined more. So very close to S, but still an A for me. The Mime Badge from Rock's father Byron again, has a pretty genius design. 3 rocks surrounded by 3 pickaxes. I am struggling. I wanna give it S tier because it has a nice origin and does look good, but not that good. So I settled for A tier again, but close to S. Candace's Icicle Badge is basically just an iceberg. It is fine, but not as special as some of the others. I think this will be a B. Lastly, we have the Beacon Badge handed to you by Faulkner. I get the design, it is a lighthouse with a very shiny beacon on top. But wouldn't that rather be fire than electric? Or fairy, which is kinda the light type, even though not existence as of now. The design also is not that special. So, B tier. No region has as many badges and gym leaders as Unova. It starts with the Trio Badge from Cress, Sillin and Chili. You have to face off against the one with the type advantage to your starter. At first I thought it could incorporate the 3 types better than just the colored gems. But to be honest, that would be over-designed, especially for the first badge. So this does work fine. A tier. Basic badge, Lenora, B tier. Yeah, B tier is just the fate of the normal badges, I guess. Which in itself is just perfect. But I do like that it resembles the spine of a book, especially with Unova's longer badges. Burrow's insect badge looks awesome. I love the insect wing design. I love the color. This one is a very solid S tier. The bolt badge you get from Elisa represents electric very nicely. Still, it is just a lightning bolt with a little extra whoosh. But I like it. A tier. Quake's clay badge is boring. Yes, it resembles the earth sliding off of itself after an earthquake, which works for ground types, but you could have done much, much better. D tier. This one might be my favorite one, period. The Jet Badge from Skylar. As I said, I love feather and wing designs, and this just looks awesomely cool. This is S tier, and you shall not disagree. But still, if you disagree, write it in the comments. It helps for the algorithm. Bryson's Freeze Badge looks like an elemental arrow attack from a more fantasy-heavy RPG. This is kinda awesome, but also a little too simple. So, A tier is all I can muster. Iris, or Drayden, depending on your version, hands the Legend Badge to you. It is better than Claire's badge, but still, can we get a cool looking Dragon Badge? I'm struggling between A and B tier, but I think in this case, I'll give it a B. The new gym leader Roxy gives you her Toxic Badge. This represents toxic bubbles, so it fits. But it is still just some circles on top of each other. So B tier. Okay, Pokemon creators, listen closely. You can represent water in other ways than droplets. You did with the Fan Badge. You showed us you are better than this. Sure. Out of all the 3 droplet badges, Marlon's Wave Badge looks the best, but more than a B is not in it. Be better. Please. Now we enter Kalos with Viola's Bug Badge. Well, it does look like a bug, but the mandibles are formed very strangely. Also, a bit more color would be nice. B tier. The Cliff Badge is your prize for defeating Grant. Shaped like a climbing wall, but in a very boring way. And why is it cut into 3 parts? D tier. 2 fists clashing with each other in Corina's Rumble Badge. Well, the concept is nice, but somehow it is missing something. Maybe the fist should be a bit more round? C tier. Ramos holds the Plant Badge. It is a little leaf with the image of a growing tree in it. And well, leaves. Yes, I love this one. This is definitely an S tier. The voltage bed that you get from Clement. Yeah, electricity doesn't flow uniformly, so this badge not being symmetrical is not a problem. However, it looks like a children's scribble. C tier. It could be worse, but very close to D. We have the first fairy type gym leader in Valerie. As that, she gives you the fairy badge. And I get it, it's supposed to be fairy rings, but to me it reminds me more of a moth. It doesn't look bad, but nothing more than a B tier. Olympia, not the one in Tokyo right now, gives you the psychic badge. What even is this? Supposedly it seems to be a crystal ball that emits smoke, but it just doesn't look good and is chaotic in a bad way. C tier. And lastly, Wulfric's Iceberg Badge. It doesn't look too bad. Would make a good window, but it would work better without the dark blue for me. B tier. And since Alola doesn't have any badges, we jump right into Galar, the last one on our list. These badges are hard to rank, as they are so different in design. So keep in mind that I'm kind of using a double standard for these, so that they won't fall into B tier all around, since they are much simpler than classical badges. But that design has a reason behind it, and that is that they are basically puzzle pieces. You get the grass badge from Milo, and I really like this one. It depicts a leaf blowing in the wind. This is S tier. 3 lakes are seen on Nessa's water badge. A nice idea, but all in all, they are just random shapes in blue. B tier. Kabu holds the fire badge, which is just a basic flame. Even with these simple designs, it could have been a little bit more than that. B tier. The fighting badge is held by Bear. And this one looks nice. A little fist with a punching motion. Works well. A tier. Now the ghost badge you get from Alistair is really cool. It depicts a will-o-wisp, but they could have designed it way simpler. Instead, we get this neat design that would also make a good tattoo. S tier. It's a butterfly. And these are apparently fairies, as it's on Opal's fairy badge. Well, okay, it could be fairy wings, sure, but it could also have been a bit more creative. B tier. Gordy is not only fashionable, but also has the rock badge. If he is so fashionable, however, why is his badge so boring? Just a boulder with cracks in it? C tier, close to D. Is she called Melanie or straight up Melon in Japanese? Because of her cup size? Huh. Well, her ice badge is an ice cube. Well, she uses an ice cube in her party. I don't know what to make of it, to be honest. It somehow works even though it is boring. Oh well, let's give it an A. Why not? And after all these years, we finally have the last type that was missing as a gym. Dark. And the Dark badge held by Pierce. It is a stylized demonic face, and the idea is great, but could have been worked in better. Close to S, but just an A for this one. Raihan's Dragon Badge is just a dragon's head and neck from the side. Maybe one day we will get a really cool looking Dragon Badge. This one, however, B tier. Also, the combined badge medallion we get after collecting all the badges gets an S tier. Because it really feels awesome to puzzle them together. Even though the center should be the last piece. And that's it. All the badges ranked for their designs. Tell me in the comments what your favorite and least favorite badges are. Don't forget to surf over the subscribe button and the little bell to stay tuned for my new videos. And maybe fly onto the like button as well. I would really appreciate it. Also, follow me on Twitter to keep updated whenever I upload. With this, I will see you next time. Bye bye!